What makes the Autoprop pretty unique in itself?
We should be able to get an extra knot just using this prop.
For the new Autoprop to fit, we're going to have to do some modifications onto the rudder.
Subscribe to the channel as we sail this old girl around the world.
We've been in the boatyard refitting and repowering our vessel Nandji, ready for our next big adventure to Indonesia and across the Indian Ocean later in the year. We have already completed some major jobs and the destruction phase of boat work is coming to the end. Steadily, we are putting Nandji back together and preparing for a new engine Fang to be installed. With a whole new drive system going into Nandji, the first step is complete with a new stern tube positioned in place. And perfect timing as our new prop arrives in the post.
We've been waiting a long time. This is one of the biggest upgrades we're making on Nandji. So we got a new motor, but you have to go through so much and get a new prop to match your gearbox. So we've been working with Bruntons. Bruntons have been kicking goals. They've got this prop recommended for our gearbox, and it's arrived from the post. What makes the Autoprop pretty unique in itself, it's the only design that has twisted blades. All other feathering props have flat blades. So if you look at fixed props, all those blades are twisted anyway, so that's what makes this unique. So really it should be much more efficient when it's under use and under load. And then because it's self-pitching and feathering, then it does itself and goes aerodynamic, so you cut through the water faster. She's pretty heavy, so I can't really hang on to it, but this is like every cruiser's dream right here. These are recommended for cruising boats because they basically under sail, you'll pick up an extra knot rather than a fixed bladed prop. These here, they feather and they basically sit like that and you just fly through the water, so there's no resistance.
When we're sailing along with the old prop, you can see how much these stick out the sides of the boat, so you can see how much friction that causes and it slows us down. But with the new prop, when we're sailing along, it looks like this. So the water rushes easily over the blades. It causes less friction and more speed, so we should be able to get an extra knot just using this prop. As the blades turn when we reverse, it means that we also have the same efficiency going backwards as we do going forwards with the new prop.
So it's not that much bigger in blade area, it is a little bit longer, so the swing area is that little bit further, so we need to do some modifications so this prop does fit into Nandji. We got a new shaft made in Thailand. And we had the drawings and everything, but you just never really know if things are still going to fit because we didn't have the prop to give to them to match when they made the shaft. So it's a bit of an anxious wait now to see if the guys who made it is actually going to fit. So we got to try to just slip it on, see how we go. For the new Autoprop to fit, in the swing area where the prop is, we're going to have to do some modifications onto the rudder. Just because this prop's a little bit bigger, and so where it swings, because it's feathering, the blades move forward and they swing around the exact 180-degree opposite to go astern. So we need to make sure there's a much more bigger sweep area for where the Autoprop will feel. So we're going to install the prop on today, and then we'll hack into the rudder because we're going to have to cut a fair bit out and do a bit of glassing onto that bad boy. To get the positioning of this prop correct, we work closely with Bruntons because we have a tight area, so they draw up a good design and where we need to position the middle of the boss, which will then allow for where the blades are going to sit, so we know how much we need to cut out of the deadwood and how much mods we need to do to the rudder here. At the moment the shaft's sitting a bit too far out, so the centre of the boss is 180 millimetres from the deadwood here, and I'll go tighten up the shaft seal to keep it in position.
Gotta get it on there first. Yeah. What is gonna be
So somewhere about there. Work on, and I'll just go tighten up the PSS so the shaft stays there.
What's going on? You got the prop on. What are you doing?
Are you clean?
Cleaner. How much do you have to cut out?
Not too bad.
Not bad at all.
Would you have to cut it like that so that all of them can?
No.
Or
Just
are they going to pass through the same part every time?
yeah, they pass through the same part.
Oh, no.
At least we think so.
To accurately position where we're going to put the Autoprop out the back, we need to be able to hold the shaft in place in the right position. So I'm just going to do a bit of a dry run. I've taken the O-rings out of the seal off the PSS, but we'll place the old PSS shaft seal in place anyway. So we'll slide it down over the shaft, tighten up the hose clamps on top of the stern tube here and put it in its actual position, and then we'll slide this down over the top just as if it was properly fit, because we're going to have to rotate the shaft so we can accurately see where the prop's going to go, and we need to keep that shaft in the exact position. We'll slide it all on and we can go play with the prop. This here affixes to the shaft by a few grub screws, and to help keep it watertight it has a couple of O-rings inside here, but I've taken those O-rings out just for this purpose because it's not being properly installed yet and I don't want to damage those O-rings, because that makes it a real tight fit as we slide it over the shaft. This is everything.
And then we cut out that much.
We got a little arc, so I'm about to go bunta with the old grinder.
Josh's favourite tool.
Safety first, kiddies. It's always interesting to see how the construction of things are, especially on Nandji, because it was built in a backyard. But it seems that the rudder here, you can see here, it's got like a solid bits of timber around the outside, and then on the inside where the stainless shaft must come down, it looks like they've welded a big solid bit of stainless, so there must be a thick bit of stainless sheet all the way through it, and they've got sandwiched between that a couple of thick bits of plywood, like 13mm plus plywood, even a bit of extra plywood on that side it looks like. So well, we'll have to get through that. We've still got another 10mm to get down, but it looks like this rudder is, nothing's going to break this bad boy. You know, we hit something, it chips off a bit of wood, we've still got this solid sheet of like 6 to 8mm bit of stainless that runs through the middle, it looks like. So Nandji's built for the bloody Cape Horn.
Oh, there will be.
So I can take a bit more out of the top.
It's pretty close.
Turn the rudder. Yeah. Cool.
Happy with the clearance of the prop through our new notch in the rudder, we went ahead and waterproofed the area with 6-ounce surfboard cloth fiberglass to bend with the curves, and then used a heavier 24-ounce biaxial cloth on each side for strength. The time has come to now install the new Autoprop, finally, but we need to measure up where we're going to cut the shaft, because we got the shaft made too long in Thailand, so we need to figure out the distances of where we're going to cut it. But to do that we need to install the prop, put on the rudder and figure out exactly where all of that's going to sit, so then we know how much we can cut off. But to install the prop, first we need to make sure we get the keyway right here. So we got the keyway made, fits all nice and snug, but the keyway is a little bit too big to fit into the new Autoprop, so we're going to have to shimmy it down, make it a bit lower, make it a bit skinnier, so then it fits the keyway on the prop. The keyway is very important for fitting it. You need to be able to see a bit of air between the prop as well though, because or else the prop can get key bound and then it's not positioned totally fully up where it needs to be. So first up we'll slide the prop on over, we'll mark where we need to get where the prop goes to naturally on the taper, and then we can figure out what goes on with this keyway and how much I need to grind off and shimmy it down. So I need to make it skinnier.
Fit?
So it fits good all the way through there. This side still needs a bit more. They've had to take it off the edges. The height appears to be okay, but the keyway of the shaft is a little bit wider than what the keyway of the prop is. So we've had to bevel the edge a bit, so I've had to take off a bit of this top edge. Steady, steady, walking back and forth between grinder and prop. You don't want the key rattling around in there. You got to be able to slide it in freely, nice and gentle, not without forcing anything like that. So back and forth from the grinder. It looks like we've got the width pretty well sorted now for the Autoprop, and that fits well into the groove on the shaft. So now we'll put this in, put the prop on to see if we need it up and down. We got the widths, now we need to get the height. It looks like the height is okay. I can see Uncle through there. So there's a bit of, probably a mil gap between the top of the bottom of the keyway and the key, but we're just kind of catching at the end here still, so I think that's the width that I've been having a bit of trouble with. We've still got another 10mm to get up to our line, so I think it's catching on the key. The moment of truth, gone back and forth about 72 times now, so it should slide up to this line. Should. There we go. Beautiful. Now we just got to stick the nut on, which will then pull it up the taper and put it in its exact right position. So just need a 24mm socket to push this up on. Then there's a little grub screw, push down to lock the nut on. Bruntons don't advise you to, but just because we're putting the keyway in, it is nice and snug fit when the prop goes on, which is a really good thing. But just in case you want to get the prop off in the future, just to make life a little bit simpler, I'm just going to put a bit of grease on the keyway. I wasn't going to grease the whole taper of the shaft, but through Uncle's advice, he recommends doing it, so I've done that. Us young folks have got to listen sometimes, so he's a wealth of knowledge. You have to absorb these things. So we'll slide the prop on, and then we got the lock nut. We're putting the prop on, so this is how it's going to be forever. So hopefully we'll never have to take it off. But so because of that, with the nut, it's going to put a bit of Loctite on it, blue Loctite. Put this in the nut, and that'll keep it on the thread. We'll put the screw on, so we'll tighten this right up, and this will push the prop up onto the taper to its position where it's going to stay. Then we'll take that off to figure out where the grub screw is going to go. Whether we might need to put a little indent on the side of the screw here, for where on the side of the nut where the grub screw will go into if it doesn't reach the flat of the nut here. So we'll just push it right up, and we can put Loctite on it afterwards. This here is the anode, so this will help protect the prop against electrolysis. So this just slips over the end and makes it all pretty. With the prop on, we're just having a look to see where it's all fitting, where these blades change, how they're self-pitching. We want to have plenty of space between the both. There's like 10 mil here sort of deal. That's kind of roughly where it needs to be. So we'll go put the shaft seal on, and that'll hold it in position at least, so then we can have a bit better of a play with it.
The clearance might seem pretty close, but it only moves this way when we're switching from forward to reverse or reverse to forward, so it's not going to be running like that. It is a self-pitching prop, so when it's going forwards it'll look something a little bit more like this, and it'll be spinning around. And then when it switches, that's going astern and that's going forward.
How good's it look?
Yeah, she's so beautiful and shiny. It's not setting permanently yet, but yeah, this is where she's going to be sitting.
It's starting to get there. Having that on and how it all looks. Getting the whole yard frothing.
Hey legends, that's another episode.
Yeah, it's pretty stoked to install this prop onto Nandji. Really looking forward to testing it out and then just seeing what sort of variances and what sort of drag difference and speed we get out of this prop. Like, since we've been back in the water, we can feel its difference in the way it moves, but we look forward to showing it to you when we're in some clear water, because it's really dirty water around here. So we look forward to looking at it under use and under load and under sailing, so we look forward to sharing that with you soon.
Yeah, we haven't actually sailed yet since we've been put back in the water, as you can imagine.
We've just been wandering everywhere, testing it all out.
Yeah, testing everything out. If you like the look of the Autoprop and you'd like to know a little bit more about it, it's from Bruntons Propellers.
Yeah, there's a link in the description which will send you over to our website, and underneath our gear there's a big write-up and a lot of information about the Autoprop there. So yeah, learn more, head over to the website.
Huge thank you to our patrons for supporting our channel. If you are getting something out of these videos, please consider becoming a patron to help keep us sailing.
Just like these legends, the big list of ours. So thanks to Rory, Robert and Ralph, and good on you Ralph for chucking a bit of froth in the PayPal as well.
Yeah, thanks, it helps heaps.
Yeah, and we must say a big apology to a couple of legends. They got a new boat that's getting launched very soon now. So big thanks to you SV Double Star for becoming our patron. I know you got a massive mission in front of you.
Yep.
It's a very exciting journey for you guys. So good luck in your launch of your new vessel.
Yeah, thanks guys so much.
The next episode is the one that everyone's been waiting for.
Oh yeah.
Bang goes in.
Yep, so subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are installing our brand new engine. See you guys.
Catch ya.
Today's the big day. The crane has arrived. About to put the new motor in. place today. So excited. Everyone's high-fiving!
A very frustrating morning today. It absolutely mutilated my hull. 2 steps forward, 1 step back.